Hey guys, Jeremy here. Welcome to another edition of Tool Time Tuesday. This week, I'm going to show you a tool that I had a few questions about from one of the last Forge vlog videos I did. What was this tool? But before we get to that, let's check out some viewer knives. The first knife we're going to look at is sent to me from Ivo. I'm pretty sure it's Ivo. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. Ivo sent me some pictures of the very first knife he's ever made, and what a great looking blade. The steel he used is N690, or he put in brackets VG10. Handle material is black micarta, and he did this entire thing with just a drill press and files. No angle grinders, no belt grinders, nothing. So what an incredible looking blade. What a lot of work, but you nailed it. Excellent job. All right, the next knife we're going to take a look at was sent to me from a 17-year-old in Poland, Simon, and he made this balisong or butterfly knife. What a great looking blade. What a lot of work that looks like. Very well done. You can also find him on Instagram, and Simon, really nice looking knife. Thanks for sending this in. And the last knife we're going to look at was sent to me from Jeff, and he's from Washington State. He made this knife. This is his third knife, and it is from 1095 with micarta for the handle materials. Since building this knife, he's moved on to friction folders. He has 2 done and another one in the works. So excellent job. Thank you so much for sharing your knives. If you like your knife featured on this channel, either in a Tool Time Tuesday or a viewer knife video, just email me, jeremy@homesteadknives.com. Now, let's get on to Tool Time Tuesday. So I had a lot of questions about the tool that I was using to cut the lid off the propane tank when I was doing my Forge body. And that tool that I used is simply an air hammer. Now, this is a really good one. This is Snap-on. They call it their Super Duty. Part number is a PH3050B. A very spendy tool. Now you can buy much less expensive versions of this. The one thing that makes these better ones, in my opinion, far superior is that they actually have a chuck that holds the tools captive. A lot of the less expensive ones, they've just got a spring and you kind of open it up, put your tool in there and hold it down. And those do work really good, but you do need to be careful because if you ever let those things fly when you're not holding your tool up to something, it can actually launch that tool out of the gun. So it's a little dangerous in that respect. If you're doing a lot of heavy duty work, and if this is a tool you use all the time, you're definitely going to want to invest in a decent one that has the chuck. Let's just reposition the camera and I'll kind of show you in a little different angle. Okay, so here we have the main tool. Now this one is really quite heavy, very loud, quite an obnoxious tool to use, but they're incredibly effective. Now, if you're going to be using these, obviously you're going to need eye protection. That's like a must. Ear protection as well. And if you're going to be spending much time on these, I would recommend some of those anti-vibration gloves because these things really... so that's the basic tool itself. And like I said, this one has the chuck, so you can just pop your tool in there. And then there's all different types of tools you can get for these as well. These ones, again, are Snap-on. Something like this, when I was working on big like oil field equipment and stuff, if you ever had loose bolts that would not budge, like even hydraulic fittings that we would have like 4-foot snipes on wrenches and we couldn't get them to move, you just stick this on the face of the nut and just give it one little tap and it starts to loosen right off. So a lot of power, definitely a lot less work than using a hammer and a punch. Also, sometimes if I had something a little bit more delicate that I didn't want to damage, I would put like a piece of aluminum between what I was striking and this tool just so it wouldn't mar it up. The cutter that I was using to cut the lid off the tank was this, and these are like sheet metal cutting tips for them. The idea being that you kind of get this point started, and once it's into the metal, it kind of rests and guides itself on this flat, on the flat on either side, and this cuts just like butter, like just brrr. I mean, you saw how easily that took that tank off. And just absolutely incredibly effective machines. I think these are typically designed for cutting off like exhaust, for doing exhaust systems and stuff like that. And again, the big benefit with this is that there's no sparks. It's not like an abrasive cutting. You're just shearing the material off. That's why I elected to use that when I was cutting open the propane tank. I didn't want any chance of sparks going anywhere. But all in all, these things are so incredibly handy. I also worked for a while doing semi-trailer repair. You know, you get the big semi-trailers that are covered with the aluminum cladding. We would have to re-rivet some of those panels on, and you can get different tips for these that are kind of dished, and you kind of put your aluminum rivet in the hole. You'd hold a big piece of steel on the other side of it, and then just brrr, and man, hundreds and hundreds of rivets I've put in with these guns. That was in my younger days. I don't know if I'd want to do that now because that was really hard work, but different types of tips. Obviously they're all hardened. you know, for different applications. Just really a fantastic little tool. This tip I've obviously never ever used, but if you've got stubborn bolts, one thing we used this a lot for was like the hubs, like drums, brake drums, and sometimes we'd have to put new studs in them. This, I mean, you just go bang, 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 and just pops those studs out of there like that. So really a handy little tool. Alright guys, well there you have it. This video was more just to answer the question. Quite a few people asked, what was that tool you're cutting the lid off? It was an air hammer. If you're gonna like use it, if you want one of these for your shop, obviously you need a fairly decent sized compressor to power it. It's not like a little, it uses a lot of air, but something like this would be a little overkill, even for the amount that I use it now. When I worked heavy duty stuff doing like oil field equipment, I use this thing like probably 3 or 4 times a week, so it was worth investing in a really good quality one. If I were to buy one now, I probably wouldn't spend the money on something like this. I believe this one, I paid, I think it was 400 or 450 bucks for this. And then the tips, just this 5-piece kit right here, the regular price was $250 on the Snap-on truck. I got them on sale for like 170 bucks or something like that, but they're not cheap. However, I think even like Stanley Fat Max makes one of these now that are a lot more affordable. I'm sure Harbor Freight makes them, Canadian Tire, Mastercraft, they have their own brand. And they're actually really a handy tool. One thing I was thinking of, I'm not entirely sure if this is gonna work, but this is just kind of stupid, but I'm gonna try it anyways. When I get my forge done, I'm gonna see how effective this is at forging steel. Like, if I put this tip in here, I mean, obviously it might be a little bit awkward or something, but if I just really need to flatten something out, would this not just do a super fast job? Just, I don't know, it might be a little bit too crazy, a little bit, it might not work well at all, but I am gonna try it. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's Tool Time Tuesday. If you have any requests for tools for Tool Time Tuesday, let me know. I didn't do a Tool Time Tuesday last week because I feel like I'm running out of things to show you, and I don't know, if there's any tools of mine you've seen me use and you'd like me to do a video on, just let me know. I'll try and get a video up for you. I'll keep trying to figure out some things that I haven't shown before and things that might be interesting and useful, but by all means, if you have requests, send them in. And if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because I've got a really awesome giveaway coming up and I'm so excited to tell you about that. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.